One show I used to love watching was Undercover Boss. The show's premise has the owner, CEO, or high-ranking company official change their appearance and get an entry-level job in their own company to experience reality in a way impossible to experience as a leader. The hope was that people would act in an authentic way so the leader could see what was working or not working in their company. The show goes right to the heart of human nature. People tend to put on a show for certain people. We put on our best behavior when we date, interview, or visit someone at their home. Often, we do not let our hair down and show people our real selves, warts and all, as we often appear in our day-to-day lives. Lately, I have been studying a lot about the incarnation of Jesus. In essence, Jesus did something similar. He left his home in heaven and lived as a man. This leader took an entry-level position to live among his creation. Only Jesus didn't do it to get a real-life feel for how things were going in his world. He came already knowing this. It was because he knew all too well how bad things were that he came to earth as a man. But when he did, he was not dressed in his full glory. Read Revelation 1 to see how John, the disciple whom Jesus loved, reacted when he saw Jesus in his full glory as he is today. No, Jesus came as a poor man born into a poor family. His birth announcement went out to shepherds instead of royalty. Gentiles were invited to celebrate his birth instead of the ruling class religious leaders. When people looked upon him, Isaiah says, "For he grew up before him like a young plant and like a root out of dry ground. He had no form or majesty that we should look at him, and no beauty that we should desire him." Isaiah 53:2. Yet, when Jesus walked the earth, he still walked as royalty. He still walked as God. He still walked as the creator of all he surveyed. Through his eyes, he saw the very people he breathed life into. He touched with human hands the people he created. He heard with human ears the cries and the cruelty that we are all capable of. When he healed, he fixed his handiwork. When he forgave, he restored his precious possession. But from our perspective, he was just one of us. He was an entry-level human with nothing to indicate his royalty, majesty, and position as the preeminent God over all things and ruler of the universe. He was just one of us, and we treated him that way. When he spoke, we scoffed at his arrogance and claimed he blasphemed. We leveled a charge that was impossible for him to be guilty of because of who he was. Jesus lived a perfect life among us, but he could do things we could not do without sinning. He could forgive the sins of others because he inherently had that right. If we forgave sins, we would be guilty of blasphemy because we do not have that right. But he did. When he healed on the Sabbath, he had the authority to correct the current teachings on what could and could not be done on the Sabbath because he was Lord of the Sabbath. When he taught people, he did so as one having authority and not as one of the scribes. When he pronounced woes against the religious leaders, he could take away their honor because honor was inherently his to bestow or remove. He did so as their creator. When he looked into the eyes of a crippled man, lame for 38 years, he saw the broken body he created and felt his creation's pain. And so, as that man's maker, he healed him. When he looked into the eyes of the woman caught in adultery, he saw the precious soul he created broken by sin and reached out to free her of that curse. He did so because, as God, he could. When Nathanael first met him, Jesus simply said to him, "Before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you." John 1:48. Whatever that was about, it caused Nathanael to respond without hesitation, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel." John 1:49. When Jesus taught, he saw his creation, whom he made to commune with for eternity. He saw what sin had done and came to right the wrong. He came to fix what was broken and heal what was sick. He allowed men to revile him and accuse him. Yet nothing changed the fact that he was royalty among them. No, he was more than that. He was God among them. He was one of a kind. There was none like him. Men never knew whose presence they were in. If they did, even the most vile Roman oppressor would have dropped to his knees and worshipped, overcome by the glory of being in the presence of his Creator. Though he emptied himself by taking the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of men, that did not rob him of who he was. He was still God, and when he looked into the eyes of his broken creation, he saw them not as people to rule over, but his special possession to heal both spiritually and physically. When he looked into the eyes of the aged woman who cast her 2 mites into the treasury, he saw her as his precious little daughter whom he loved. And when he died for us, he did so as the most powerful being in the universe. He came not in power and might, but in humility and poverty. He walked among us, undercover, yet he was still the Son of Man who rode the clouds of heaven. And when his work upon his earth was done, he took his seat on the heavenly throne to reign over all he had come to fix. And when he looks in your eyes and mine today, he still sees us as his broken, precious child whom he came to rescue. All we need to do is let him. Isn't it humbling to know the King of all creation chose to walk among us, not to judge, but to heal, restore, and redeem? If there's a moment in his story that touches your heart, share it below. I'd love to hear how Jesus has made himself known to you in the comments.